What we have learned so far is just limited with printing a fixed value to the console or passing it to alert or document.write, like a short text in quotes, numbers, HTML markups for example, isn't all that useful in a real-world applications. Because most of the time, a real-world application needs to work with information that changes over time. For example, a blog site can keep track of number of upvotes for each post. A game application can keep track of each player's current total score and status. And an e-commerce website can keep track of each product's price and number of amounts in stock. A real-world application needs a way of keeping track of different types of information. Information that changes or varies each time an application runs is often stored in what's called variable. Variables are one of the most important concepts in programming. It's a way of storing and keeping track of different informations that change in an application, so that it can be later used and manipulated. For example, a blog site keeps track of upvotes for each post. At the beginning, when the post is just created, the upvote number is 0, but can go up if someone likes the post and upvotes it, or would go down if someone downvotes it. Upvote is an example of variable. Although the upvote's value change, 0 at the start, 1000 later for example, but it's still always just one upvote value for that specific post. In simple words, you can think of a variable as a box with a unique name. You can put something inside the box, check the box to find out what's in it. You can empty the box and even put something new in the box. While what's inside the box changes, it's still always the same box with the unique name you gave it. Every program has lots of information to keep track of. So in this case, a program might need lots of variables to keep track of them. In order for a program to keep track of all the different types of information successfully, a program needs a way to identify each variable. That's why each variable has its own unique name, like upvote, which only identifies that one variable. Now let's learn the syntax for creating a variable. To create a new variable, we start with a special JavaScript word. This is called keyword, and its name is var. Var is short for variable, and it creates the unique named box I mentioned earlier. We follow that with a space and a name for that variable. This is what's called declaring a variable. When you declare a variable with a var keyword, you can leave it empty. In that case, add a semicolon to the end of the statement. Or you can create the variable and put something into it in a single statement. Using an equal sign, you can insert a value in a variable. The equal sign is called an assignment operator. It instructs the JavaScript engine to put whatever's on the right side into the name on the left side. In this example, it puts 100 into upvote. When you place something in a variable, it's called assigning a value to the variable. Now, let's declare and use a variable. To code along with me, first download the course folder from the link in the description below, unzip it, and open it with your favorite code editor. Here I'm using Visual Studio Code. From the course folder, open the exercise folder called JavaScript Variables. And then open the index.html file using Google Chrome. Here I also open the JavaScript console. In the index.html file, I also link the script.js file. In script.js, let's use a variable with this console.log command. First, I'll use the var keyword to declare a new variable. This creates an empty variable named topic. I'll teach you about naming variables in a separate lecture, but one of the best practices is that a variable's name should clearly describe what the variable will be used for. We can store something inside the variable or assign it a new value using the equal sign. Here I am storing the phrase JavaScript Variables. You can use a single or double quotes to indicate the actual letters and series of symbols that you want to display in a message. A series of characters inside quotes like this is called a string. I will teach you more about JavaScript strings later in this course. Once you store information in a variable, you can access and use its stored value whenever you need it. To access the stored value of the variable, you type its name. For example, to log the stored value of this variable topic, I replace everything inside parentheses of this console.log statement with the variable name topic. I'll save the change. Refresh the page. Notice how the console prints the content stored inside the variable topic, in this case JavaScript variables. In this program, the word topic is now referenced to the value JavaScript variables. So, whenever I use topic in this program, as long as I don't change its value, it will always be JavaScript variables. Variables are super useful because you can change what's inside them. Let's change the contents of the topic variable by adding another line of code and assigning it a new value. This time the topic is equal to updated value. This is called reassigning the variable. And notice that I'm not using the var keyword again. When you reassign a variable to a new value, you don't use var second time, only use it when you first create or declare the variable. The equal sign assigns a new string to the variable, which means that the initial value JavaScript variables is gone. In other words, if I use a topic variable anywhere below line 4, it's a reference to updated value, not JavaScript variables. We can confirm this by adding another console.log below like this. Save the files. Refresh the page. This time, two different values appear on the console. First, JavaScript variables, then updated value. The exact same line of code console.log produces two different results. That's the power of variables. Now, this is just one way to declare and work with variables. I will teach you other techniques to declare and work with variable in an upcoming lectures, such as using lat and const keyboard.